Hello, this is Mar again. The processors of the MacBook Air is way slower, much slower than the MacBook White. For the Air, you get Core 2 Duo 1.4, but for the White, you get Core 2 Duo 2.4. So, the processor of the MacBook White is faster than the Air, up to 1 gigahertz more. But the Air is incredibly thin. It's more than half the weight compared to the White. The White's weighting is roughly around 2.13 kilograms, whereas the Air weighs roughly 0.5 kilograms. So half the weight compared to the White. And secondly, I think in terms of the RAM, they're almost identical. The standard configuration for both of them is 2 gigs of RAM. If you want 4 gigs of RAM for the MacBook Air, you have to go to the custom to order page on the Apple website and order that. So it's might beyond the budget, which is $1,000. But for the MacBook White, you can increase the RAM later on. Like for instance, you are a college student, and then you get Christmas allowance is only 1,000 US dollars, which is $1,000. So you don't have enough money now to increase the RAM, but you can probably gather your monies and then change the RAM, increase the RAM in the future. So that's one of the benefits you will get from getting the MacBook White. But the MacBook White is bloody heavy. It's 2.13 kilograms. So if you're just a young girl, just a college student, it might be too heavy. You might have to carry this big laptop to your school every day or your college. So that's a good point. And in terms of the graphic cards, NVIDIA GeForce 320M comes standards for both of them. So let's have a close look at the hard drive. I think interestingly, the hard drive of the MacBook Air is very small. It's only 64 gigabytes for the entry-level one. Okay, it's solid-state drive, so it's 2 times up to 3 times faster than just any regular SATA hard drive. So in terms of hard drive speed, the MacBook Air is 2 times faster than the MacBook White. But in terms of values, the MacBook White gives you 4 times more, which is 250 gigs, and can be increased by yourself up to 500 gigabytes, or you can even order the custom to order up to 500 gigabytes from the apple.com. Okay, so it's depending on how do you plan on using your computer for. And I read the Apple website about 1,000 times. I saw something that was really fun is when Apple reiterated the terminology of the webcam. It changed the terminology of the webcam from iSight cameras to FaceTime camera. Before you disturb your parents and ask for more money to go for the MacBook Air and then increase the hard drives and everything, even though you go for the MacBook White, you will get exactly the same FaceTime camera. It's not the cameras that allow you to do FaceTime, it's the FaceTime for Mac applications, which allows you to get only beta versions at the moment for now. So don't be so excited with this particular feature. Okay, so to summarize the verdicts would be for the MacBook White, I think the primary benefit is you can play around with it. You can increase the hard drive, modify the RAMs by yourself. It has almost everything. It has an optical drive, but the MacBook White doesn't have the ability to receive the infrared. But the Air has the infrared, but it doesn't have optical drive. It doesn't have Ethernet port. So it's depending on you. And for the MacBook Air, I think 64 gigabytes for the storage is way too small. I would suggest you pay a little bit more. You add 200 to go for the higher end, which is 128, but it's more expensive. It's around 1,200 US, and you may have to buy an additional 79 bucks, double layer external super drive from Apple. But for the MacBook White, you don't have to buy. As I mentioned a number of times earlier in my previous clips, that when you buy a Mac, when you want to rearrange your forecasting about how you want to spend on your Mac, don't stop at buying a machine. You might have to buy something more, like an additional films for the screen, external drive, or any silicone cover, carrying case, bags, and everything. Apple Care protection plan is not just a computer. It's like buying a new car. Okay. If you don't have enough money now, you don't have to buy everything today in one day. You can just rearrange and buy just only once a month or something. Like for instance, the Apple Care protection plan, you got 1 year to think from the original purchase date or something. So that's the bottom line. So for me personally, the verdict would be, as I said earlier in my prior comparison, if you don't have any computer at the moment, you should not buy the MacBook Air as your primary computer because it might cause hassle. Because in order to buy the Air and then you have to carry that external drive, apart from costing more values, you have to pay for it more, it costs you more weight. The weight of the MacBook Air Super Drive roughly around 0.3 kilogram plus the wall chargers and everything. So if you don't have any computer at the moment and you might planning to ask from your parents a gift for Christmas, I would suggest you should go for the MacBook White, okay? But if you are a young girl, okay, a thin young girl, a college student, and you have to carry your Mac to your school every day, keep it on your backpack, and wedging is might be one of your primary concern, and you already have a Dell computer at home or something, well, I think the MacBook Air might be the right choice for you. But if you stand 6 feet tall, you're a big guy, you're a soccer player, you don't really care about the wedgings of the Mac, I would suggest you go for the MacBook Air, maybe a wiser selection for you. So that's the bottom line. Okay, enjoy your Macs and send us some feedback. Thanks for watching.